Hey guys, hope everyone's doing well. So this week I wanted to do a video on my good friend Ian McPherson, and he's someone I've been wanting to do a video on for a long time, just been kind of busy getting ready for Worlds. Ian, he's one of those guys that it doesn't matter where I go in the world, it doesn't matter where I am, how long it's been, people always ask me about him and another friend of mine, Chris Moriarty. So I just wanted to take the time out to just talk about him a little bit, because he's one of those guys that before social media really blew up, he was probably one of the best American competitors out there. So I just wanted to, just talk about him, because, he doesn't get celebrated a lot, but man. So I met Ian, I must have been like a white belt or blue belt. I had just started training at the Alliance headquarters from my gym. I don't know what my gym was called, Alliance Marietta. So I just transferred from Alliance Marietta to Alliance headquarters, and no one knew who I was. I was just like a white belt, a little crazy white belt. So Ian was one of the first people they paired me with, and man, I just got my butt kicked so bad. Just so bad. And I actually remember rolling with Chris Moriarty too, and he did like a banana split on me from the twister position. And I'm a white belt. I had never seen what the twister was. I didn't know what the twister was. So man, I got put in that thing, and I was so upset because he was like a brown belt, and I think he just got it. He was going to get his black belt. No, he didn't get his black belt, but he had just gotten his brown belt, and I was just like, still a white belt pretty much. And man, he just kicked my ass. So that sucked. But Ian was one of the guys I would always train with. I kind of want to go through like his backstory so you guys can kind of know who he is, and just see where he came from. So Ian, he started jiu-jitsu, but before jiu-jitsu he started wrestling with one of Jacare's black belts, Pat Harvey. If you guys don't know who Pat Harvey is, maybe I'll do a video on him too. But anyway, Pat Harvey was, this kind of ex-powerlifting, just super strong, like kind of crazy guy, he's still crazy. So he was the wrestling coach over at it wasn't Wheeler. What school did they go to? I don't remember the high school, but anyway, he was the, wrestling coach. And Ian, I don't think he was, probably wasn't the best wrestler on the team, but if you guys have ever met Ian, he's like just super tough guy, and man, he'll do it. Doesn't matter what it is, he'll go out there and do it. So I guess eventually Pat Harvey suggested that Ian and his dad, or Ian, try out jiu-jitsu, which Pat Harvey he must have been a brown belt at the time, or maybe purple belt or something. So anyway, Ian and his father, Mr. Jim, who also will probably get a video in the future, started training jiu-jitsu at Alliance headquarters under Jacare, and that's where it kind of started for those guys. So Ian, man, just started out, was really good in jiu-jitsu and started placing really well. He started placing at Purple Belt Worlds, and like the first one in America when they had it in 2007, and then so I think he got silver, purple belt, and then he went on to win brown belt worlds and pans. And one thing that set Ian apart from a lot of guys was that he would always go for the absolute. That was always like his goal, like win your weight class, but always would go to absolute. And man, just had these wars. And I can't tell you how many times I would just see Ian out there battling these humongous guys, ex-football players, or just ginormous guys, and he would just go at them, man. And his conditioning was so good. He was probably one of the first guys I knew that really did a lot of conditioning outside of training jiu-jitsu. And I remember thinking it was kind of weird. It's like, yeah, maybe we just train a lot. That's your conditioning, right? But he would, go running and go on a treadmill and stuff. So at the time I thought that was kind of weird, but man, looking back, it was like, that made sense. He never gassed out, and he could, even if someone was technically better than him, he could wear you out. And that's just one thing from rolling with Ian. Back in the day, you could give him everything you had, and could put him in these just terrible positions, and you're like, man, this guy, he needs to give up. You might have him in arm bar or something, like, man, I'm about to break this thing. And then what would happen is you would get tired and you would blow all your energy, like, you blow all your energy, and then he would get out, and then you're dead, and he still keep going. He was like the Terminator. And one joke we always had, I think Jock Ray started it, was that Ian had like a third lung or something, like something in the back. He could just hold out and just keep pushing. And just his tolerance of pain was just insane, guys. There's been so many times where it's just like Ian's in a submission, and you know, when you're sitting on the side kind of watching, and you're just like, oh my God, what in the world is going on here? And then you hear Jock Ray go, Ian, you need to tap, man. And then Ian, you look at him, he's like, oh yeah, I need to tap. And it's just amazing. It's almost funny just to see it, because if no one told him to tap, he wouldn't tap, man. He would break that thing and get out and then beat you. So Ian, really super great guy. He had a lot of wars. I know he had wars with Kaida and Gracie. He had wars with, man, he had a lot of wars with guys. That's just one of the top guys I remember him fighting with a lot of the times. He had he just so many wars, so many battles. And a lot of Ian's success, you had to credit it to, his own work ethic. Just coming up, I remember him always being in school and studying exercise science, which I think he got his undergraduate and his graduate degree in, master's degree. So he's a very diligent guy already, but I think a lot of his success was also just his father being there with him, helping him to train and drill techniques, and just being there to support him. Mr. Jim, one of my fondest memories of them, Mr. Jim passed a few years ago, but one of my fondest memories is I used to teach the kids class, and we would have to go there pretty early on Saturdays, maybe like, I don't know how early, like 9 o'clock or something super early. And then, Mr. Jim and Ian would be there, and they'd have their coffee and whatever else, and they would start, drilling techniques. And man, Ian would go hard on his dad, man. He'd be tossing his dad up early up in the morning, like flinging his dad around. And his dad wasn't young. He was an older guy. And man, Ian's tossing his dad. And I would just sit there watching. And man, they would do it every Saturday, get there early before class and drill techniques for like an hour or two. And man, that was one of my fondest memories, just watching them kind of bond. And I think, man, just having, your family training with you is so important. It keeps you in there, because you can't slack in jiu-jitsu if your whole family's training, and, that's where you kind of go and spend quality time together. You got to go do it. So, a lot of Ian's success was Mr. Jim. He helped not only Ian, he would help all the other students out. He would had an old camera, so he would go to the tournaments and film everyone's matches and make a little DVD for everyone. So you had your matches. And this is before smartphones. This is before, like, we had all the technology where everyone could like just record and have the stories out there. So he would go out there, and I don't know how he was editing this stuff. He would go out there, film everything, the whole tournament he's out there filming, and then he would go and edit it. And then, man, the next few days after the tournament, you would have a little DVD with your name on it and all your matches on there. So man, it was so awesome. I missed that too. Ian did really well, just going up the belts, and even at black belt, he had a lot of success. I don't know if he placed at Worlds at black belt, but maybe he did. I remember he had a really great match against Eduardo Tellez, and man, he almost tapped Eduardo Tellez. So one of Ian's like really top positions is the clock choke. So he almost got that thing on Eduardo. Eduardo had to go full when you're in a clock choke, you gotta go on your back to kind of get out of that thing. And man, he was stuck in there for a bit. Some other good attacks. Ian's really great at leg locks, and it wasn't always like that. I think maybe when he got his brown belt or something happened, and man, he started attacking all the legs. And I used to train with Ian all the time. So man, I had two training partners from like purple to brown, and it was Ian and Jamonta, JT. JT definitely deserves his own video at a certain point, but man, I trained with these two guys for like every day for like 2 or 3 years, maybe 4 years, every single day, and I hated it, but it made me really good. But anyway, Ian, something happened one day and he just started attacking leg locks, and me being one of his, you know, constant training partners, man, I didn't know what happened. One day things happened and it was like, I was getting knee barred, I was getting ankle locked, I was getting toe holded, everything was hurting. So that sucked a lot for me. So his leg lock game was so kind of ahead of his time, because I don't remember really a lot of people going for leg locks like that. And I'm gonna have to add some clips of this video just so you can see like how aggressive he was with the leg locks. I remember one time he's in a match, he had knee on belly, and like the person was like kind of framing the face and trying to push him off. And you know, a normal person would go, hey, I'm gonna go for the arm bar. And man, Ian, he turned around and started attacking the foot. Like, what in the world? Like, to you know, the person's pushing off of you. Oh, the hand's right there, go for the arm bar or something. So he turned around and started attacking that leg. And man, he held on that thing. He was like, you ever see like a hungry dog with the bone? Like, that's what it looks like. Like, man, you're not getting your leg back. And not only would he attack leg locks from on top, he had a really good entries from just from his guard to get the legs. And man, it was even as a black belt, it was still tough to like kind of defend the positions. It was kind of revolutionary before its time. Like, no one was really attacking legs, and he kind of was like, man, he would just go at those things. And one thing with Ian, I had to add for the video, is that you really couldn't coach Ian. Like, luckily his dad would drill with him and, you know, get the technique down. But when the match started, that was it. Like, you couldn't coach Ian. He was just like, he's gonna do what he's gonna do. You know, whatever he trained, he was gonna do. And you just had to sit back and watch, you know. And a very entertaining guy. I think Ian was like the first guy I saw that had headshots. So like, there was like a company, I remember a lady approached Ian and was like, oh, we want you to be a model for us, because he had like, you know, very long, you know, lightish brown, blondish hair, like light brown hair, like, and it slowly got longer over the years, you know. And one thing he would do is like, you know, after winning or something, he would just like shake his head up and then all his hair would go up. And I'll look for a picture of that. But man, I remember he had headshots, and people wanted them too. He would sign them at tournaments. You know, Ian's just a really great guy. Just training with him, you train with everybody. And, you know, when you were training with him, he was a monster. He was a mat monster. But then afterwards, he would also go, great roll. Like, it didn't matter what, he would kill you the whole time. He tapped you every minute, and then he'd be like, tough roll, good moves. And you're like, man, I got killed. What are you talking about? It's a very just humble guy. Just, again, this is like before social media blew up. So we had a lot of like popular world champions, but we just didn't have like Instagram posting all the time. We didn't have Facebook where you just like were showing everything you were doing. We were just busy training all the time. It's like, hey, maybe I might get in Gracie Mag or something, or that was about it. It's like, hey, I just want to win. I want to be good to be good. And I guess now it's like more about just being popular too, which there's nothing wrong with that. The sport is getting more popular. So I just wanted to do a video on Ian just to kind of let people know who he was. And he's still training, guys. He's still out there training. You know, he took over his father's business and got married, had a little daughter. So a lot of these guys, you know, it's like your priorities change in life. And that's one thing I'm really happy that, you know, at Alliance, it wasn't just about being good at jiu-jitsu. It was about being a better person. And a lot of the guys I trained with, we all did like, you know, we all worked. We all had like, we were all in school studying to be like, you know, something. We were all studying. We all had some other outlets outside of jiu-jitsu, and although we really trained hard, we pushed very hard, we tried to be well balanced. And like, your life's gonna change as you get older, guys. You might be like full-time jiu-jitsu like 100% right now, but maybe 5 years from now you might be a completely different person. You might settle down and get married. You might have a kid and, oh, I gotta get a job now. So you never know where your life's gonna be. I think just focus on getting better every day. Focus on being a better person. Focus on your technique, and hope for the best, guys. So again, I just wanted to do a little video on Ian just to kind of celebrate him a little bit. He's one of those guys that you don't hear about very often, but it doesn't matter where I go, guys. Someone always asks me, hey man, what happened to Ian? But he's still around, guys. He still trains, not to the same level that he used to back in the day, but you never know, he might come back. He's one of those guys that can always come back and give a super tough role to anyone in the world. All right, guys, hopefully this video helped you. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It was entertaining. Please like this video. Please subscribe. Until next time, peace out. Ciao.